Test, test. Good. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, my fellow graduates. Now, as salutatorian of this graduating class, I have the very distinct honor of welcoming you all here this evening. So, good evening, and a long time ago, in an ancient Indian tribe named the Olang Ku from southwestern New York, there lived a young brave named Whispering Winds. Now, Whispering Winds was an incredible young man, much like my fellow classmates here before me. But he was also very impressionable. It just so happened that Whispering Winds was in a tribal meeting one night and happened to exchange glances with the chief's daughter. Wham! It hit him like the proverbial ton of bricks. He practically fell over. His love was that powerful. Well, after the meeting, he wasted no time approaching the chief, saying, "I wish to marry your daughter, wise Durango." "You do you?" said the chief, who, by the way, is said to have been one of the wisest Indian chiefs ever to live. "Well, I'll tell you what," he said. "If you can ask me a question to which I do not know the answer, I will not only allow you to marry my daughter, but I will also step aside and let you be chief of our great tribe." Without hesitation, Whispering Winds ran out of the longhouse, grabbed his gear, and set out on a journey, something similar to a vision quest. His journey was long and hard, but about a year after being on his quest, he received what he was looking for. One morning, just after dawn, Whispering Winds was resting under a large maple tree when, out of the blue, an uproar of chirping began in the tree. Upon hearing the peeps of the little birds, he realized what his question would be. So he climbed the tree as fast as he could, took a chick from the nest, and climbed back down. He gathered his belongings and hurried back to his village. As soon as he arrived, he ran into the longhouse. There sat the chief in all his wisdom. "I have a question for you, wise Durango." "Well, we shall see if your vision quest has truly helped you," said the chief. With that, Whispering Winds turned directly to the chief and said, "Behind my back, in my hands, there lies a bird. Is the bird dead or alive?" The chief thought for a long time, well into the night and into the early hours of the next day. And finally, he told Whispering Winds, "I cannot answer your question, for you are the one that controls the outcome. In your hands there is a live bird. If I say it is alive, though, you will crush it. If I say it is dead, you need only show me the living bird to prove me wrong." And so, Whispering Winds married the chief's daughter and became the tribe's chief. He and his tribe prospered for many years and are still thought to walk the trails of southwestern New York. Well, what I am saying is, the future is what we make of it, much like Whispering Winds' question. Since this evening hasn't happened yet, if we choose to have a great evening here and now, then we will have a great evening. If we choose to have a bad evening, then it will be really bad. Now, I can't change your mind as to how you want this evening to be, but I can say two things that are my contributions to today. One, I'm going to have a great evening, hopefully one of the most memorable and best in my life. And 2, get ready for some great people, great speeches, and great memories this evening. Welcome to graduation, everyone.
The more I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on my life. Attitude to me is more important than facts. It is more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstances, than failures, than successes, than what other people think or say or do. It is more important than appearance, giftedness, or skill. It will make or break a company, a church, a home. We cannot change the inevitable. Life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. With these words, Charles Swindoll offers his advice to a world that has seen great change and to the youth still struggling to comprehend its ramifications. It was the first day of our senior year in our brand new building. The tiles were polished and everything had that new smell to it. There was a level of excitement and urgency as we all came into the halls. There were faculty and friends that we had not seen that summer. There were classes to find, lockers to work, and that shifting of thinking that occurs as we resume the schedule our body knows so well. And for some of us, the reality that we were lost in our own building. By 9 o'clock, we were adjusted until change came. Word leaked out. It came through the student-teacher hallway pipeline. Facts were unclear, faces grim, and messages unbelievable. America was under attack. 2 buildings were ablaze and thousands dead. The school was not equipped to update us with information as we had no television access due to construction. We heard and imagined, but not enough to face the reality of the images awaiting us at home. 9/11 stands for emergencies, and we were in one. America was under siege, and we were in shock. Our senior year was to change. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play on the one string we have, and that is our attitude. The days that followed September 11th tested that hypothesis for us all. Complete disbelief was the first emotion that we all experienced. How could anyone have such hatred for us that they would take such mass amounts of life in hatred? Then came anger. Waves of anger washed over Vergennes in America like a tidal wave. America was under attack, and suddenly the enormity of what it meant breached color barriers, religions, and issues that had, until then, seemed critical. America was unified, angry, and looking for answers. America found its answers in traditions and in solidarity. In my lifetime, I had never seen a togetherness that drew us into our heritage. Vietnam had forced us into protests against American policy and questioning the very values we were based on. September 11th brought us back to basics. People looked to the framework and essence of what it is to be an American to find their answers. In the Constitution, the flag, the churches, the playgrounds, and their homes, they found the answer. America was, in essence, searching for what defined its national outlook and attitude. It found itself, and America came together. What happened next is still being witnessed today. Neighbors joined hands, our government defined policy, and we moved forward as one. That is no easy feat for a nation of such cultural diversity. A nation that guarantees everyone the freedom of our own opinions. We gave tribute and honor to those who had perished and looked within ourselves to find the courage to face the consequences of this brutal assault. At the same time, we cannot let this tragedy ruin all of the good things that we have to share with the world. September 11th altered the color and tone of our world. I was contemplating college, mud bowls, proms, and soccer. I had plans, and they seemed so important at the time. September 11th altered that. My life was still there to live, but the importance and outlook with which I lived it was to be reshaped forever. The essence of the future was changed, and the feelings of what mattered were too. So as we join together here tonight to reflect, celebrate, and move on, take a moment to look at the graduates. As I scan the faces here in the gymnasium, I see people destined for careers, jobs, and experiences that will span the globe and very seldom bring us together again. Yet because of this year and this event, we are forever bound as Americans. After you turn the tassel on your hat and throw it in the air, pause to remember and reflect on what is truly that which makes us all special and unique. We live in a place and in a time where we are looking within each other to find the things that bind us together as friends, members of the class of 2002, and as Americans. The answer was within us all along, but it took a national disaster to help us find it. We are Americans, born into a place and time that allows us to be who we are and dream of where we can go. Our limits are our own, controlled by our willingness to work and our attitude that drives us. We are all gifted and skilled in many ways. Look into yourself and channel those talents. Look within yourself for the attitude to achieve. Look to your family and community for the essence of who you are and where your roots lie. Look to your country, flag, and heritage for what defines you as Americans. Look and you will find. Believe and you will achieve. Thank you.
I am very excited to introduce the featured speaker this evening. He is a longtime coach of the University of Vermont Catamount men's basketball team, guiding them this year to their most successful season ever. Balancing his coaching achievements with a talent for motivational speaking, he has earned accreditation throughout New England. You may even recognize his voice from his third successful endeavor, the morning radio show, Corum and the Coach. And now, without further ado, I give you the multi-talented Coach Tom Brennan.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here. I can't see you, but I can certainly feel your heat. And with all due respect to Rusty Dewees, this is a new suit. My clothes are staying on. And the reality of it is, drenched in sweat and in the gym, that's where I do my best work. So I'll be fine. It is a tremendous, tremendous pleasure to be here. I'm always so proud when I'm asked to do something like this because it helps to invigorate my faith in the youth of America. It invigorates my faith in America, listening to words like Erica gave us. As far as Sean's concerned, I'm with you, bro. I'm just going to get funky and have a good time and not worry about it. But it really is kind of neat. And when I played at Georgia, the University of Georgia, I got a couple stories I'm going to tell you. By the way, you ever watch? Do you ever watch on? You ever watch, young lady? What time is it, please? 7:30? All right, at 20 of 8, you say, Coach, 20 of 8. Okay? Promise to do that? Because my mama always told me, never overstay your welcome, and then you always get invited back. All right? Anyway, I played at the University of Georgia back in the 60s, and during that time, there was a fella at LSU by the name of Pistol Pete Maravich. And what happened, what the deal was, is Pistol was a great college player, but it was before ESPN and before basketball was as big as it is now. But he averaged 44 points a game. And that was his legacy. For 3 years he did that, and there was no three-point line, and there was no shot clock or anything like that. The guy was just a brilliant player. And his first game of his junior year was the first game of my sophomore year at the University of Georgia. And what we had decided to do was, our game plan was, we were going to make the other guys on the team beat us. And we were not going to let Pete beat us. And I was going to start out on him, and then we had 2 or 3 other guys that were going to come in and play him. And we were just going to shadow him and follow him everywhere and just disrupt him as much as we could and just make life miserable for him. And to me, it was really a tremendous challenge because I was from a little town in New Jersey, much like Vergennes, a little bit bigger, but a real close-knit group of people, real pride in high school athletics. And it was just such a great thrill for me because there were 15,000 people in the gym, and there were about 12,000 in my hometown. And you know what was neat? I was running out. I'll never forget it. And the guy said, and a sophomore from Phillipsburg, New Jersey. Man, I went strutting out there. I just thought, damn, man, you've arrived. Look at this. This is right where you want to be. I just wish your boys could see you. All the guys you hang with on the corner, I wish they could be here to see how much you've made it, where you are. And it was a wonderful, special feeling, and I had butterflies in my stomach, and I just thought to myself, this is unbelievable. And then we started a game, and what happened was they threw the ball up for the jump ball, and I was right next to Pistol, and what happened, I turned as he turned, and somebody hit me right in the face with an elbow, and I saw stars in my eyes, and my ear was ringing, but I did just notice that Maravich shot the ball, and it went in, and they were up 2-0. And so we came back down, and we were pretty good at the time, and we scored to make it 2-2. And what the deal was, is the basket is where the sign is, okay? The LSU would play a zone defense, and where the flowers are, that would be Pete. And when the shot went up, if the ball went in, then he would come back, circle back, and get it, and then take it up the floor. And if it didn't go in, he would just fade out, and they would throw it out to him, and then he would take it up the floor. But he always got the ball. So now we score, like I said, and I'm right in his face. You know, I see him down there. I got him. He gets the ball, and I'm down. I'm turning him, and, all of a sudden he pulls up from about, 25 feet, way out. And I'm thinking, no way, that's going in. Splash. So now it's 4-2, and now I'm thinking to myself, you know what? This guy is pretty good. I guess that 44 game wasn't a mistake. So we come back down. We score again, make it 4-4, just like that. And so now there I am, and now I'm really getting nuts because I'm saying I got to stop this guy. I can't let this happen. And he comes down, and now he goes into the corner, and he shoots the ball like another bad shot that goes in. And he's playing at home, and the place is going crazy, and my coach is going crazy, and I'm thinking, oh, man, this is not the plan we had here, you know. So now he's got 6 and we got 4. We come down, and we score again. Now it's 6-6. Nobody's missed. My team and Pete. All right, so now he comes down again. I say, if I got to tackle this guy, he's not scoring this time. I don't care what. He goes to the basket. I knock him down. The ball goes in the basket. Now he's going to the line. So now I'm standing there, and I'm looking up at the scoreboard, and I'm saying to myself, well, let me see. He's got 80 shooting for 9. There's 17 minutes and 40 seconds to go. That's 84. He'll have it to half at this rate. You know, now I'm dying. Like now all that, hey, I wish my boys could see me now, has turned to fear, absolute fear. So now we come back down. We score again to make it 9-8. And now there I am again, possessed, foaming at the mouth. And I'm just right guarding him, and he keeps walking toward me, and he's just, I don't know what he's doing, but he's got something up his sleeve, I know that. And what happened was, as I realized what had happened, LSU called a timeout, and I guarded him right into their huddle. And I'm looking around, and I'm going, oh, my God, how could it get worse? Well, guess what? It just got worse. And then, to add insult to injury, Pete's old man, who was the coach, says to me, son, I think you're down there with the red team. Oh, do you? Yeah, you know what? They can't wait to see me down there with the red team. I'll tell you that. So now, when you got to give a speech sometimes or get up in front of a class and your knees start to shake, you really get nervous. Honest to God, guys, my knees shook so badly from the time I got from point A to point B. First of all, I didn't know I was going to get there. And then the coach said to me, Tommy, you're out. And I said, thank you. And you know what? Don't be in a big hurry to put me back in, because it's not going that well. And I, thank God, as I said, no ESPN, and not a lot of people knew about it. But it was embarrassing. It was terribly embarrassing. And for 2 days, I didn't come out of my room. I was just saying, how could you do this? You're in the big leagues, SEC. You make such a jerk out of yourself. And God, and then all of a sudden I said, hey, it happens. These things happen. And the fact of the matter is, and the most important thing is, you were out there. You were going for it. The 15,000 people that were watching that game, they didn't have anything invested. They were there having a good time. You were in the hunt. You were after the prize. And I'll tell you, if you get on the plane and you go to Kathmandu and you climb the mountain and you talk to the guru, you know what he's going to say to you? 3 words. Go for it. Go for it. Don't be afraid to fail. It's really important that you understand that. But this is the fly in the ointment. See, life ain't fair. So the good guys don't always win. That's what causes you the screw-ups at times. I remember when I was at Yale, I was coaching at Yale, and Yale had never beaten Penn and Princeton on the same weekend, and we had just beaten Penn on a Friday night, and we were playing Princeton on Saturday. And we were in a gym having a walkthrough like this, and a guy came through the door that I've never seen before or never seen since. And he said to me, Coach, I need to see you. And so he called me over, and he said, my sister, who's now the coach at Middlebury, women's coach at Middlebury College, played at Virginia Tech. And he said, your folks were on their way to Virginia to see your sister play, and your father was killed. Like that. Boom. Like that. And before I could emote in any way, before anything came to my mind, the first thing was, I need 10 more minutes. I just need 10 more minutes to tell him how much I loved him and how proud I was to be his son and how proud I was that he was my dad. But I didn't get it. You know why? Because life ain't fair. And that's why it's really incumbent upon each and every one of you to never forget these people who love you unconditionally, whether you're All-American or whether you don't ever go out for the team. Going to do everything they can for you, have, always, and always will. Those are the people that you never forget. And then 16 years later, unbelievably, my mother remarried a sainted man and was on her way to Philadelphia. She was in the back seat, 2 people in the front. Guy ran a stop sign, hit her. She's the only one that passed away. Nobody else had a scratch. How can this be? It boggles my mind. What are the odds? And I can remember vividly standing at the same spot in the same funeral home, reading the same people 16 years later. Life's not fair. I know I did a much better job with her than I did with him, but you can never say it enough. You never can say it enough. And it's interesting because you guys have been teenagers longer than anybody in the world. All right, you have had so much access to so many things and so many places that you have jumped and grown considerably faster, I think, than almost any other group. And you always wanted your voices to be heard, and you always wanted your opinions to count. Well, guess what? You're in. Okay? Now it happens. And really, to me, the only difference between adults and children are that adults are givers and children are takers. And and now you're coming to the giving side. Now you guys got to become givers. And don't be misled into thinking that you can't elicit change, because we all know that the single most important component of change is the individual. You making you do something every day to make yourself proud of yourself. And I would say too that don't ever take yourself too seriously. Whatever successes you might have, whatever blessings God has bestowed on you, don't take yourself too seriously. I remember I was coaching at Villanova, and I went to this little banquet, this little mom and pop type of banquet in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. And I was sitting up at the head table, and the lady came out with a bowl of potatoes, and she put a potato on my plate. And then another guy comes out, a little like an 8-year-old guy, and he's got a big bowl of butter, and he puts a piece of butter on my plate next to the potato. So I said to the guy, "My man, can I get another piece of butter?" And the kid went, "1 pat per potato." So I said, "Okay, all right, I got it, So the kid paid attention. That's what they told me in the kitchen. I said, "Excuse me, my man, I just need one more. Can I get one more piece?" Kid wouldn't budge. He said, 1 pat per potato. So I said to him, "Do you know who I am?" And I was trying to mess with him a little bit, and he said, "No." And I said, "Well, I'm Tom Brennan. I'm the assistant coach at Villanova, and I'm the guest speaker here tonight. And I think you should give me another piece of butter." He's like 8 years old. And he said to me, "Do you know who I am?" And I said, "No." He said, "I'm the guy with the butter." So he was a lot more important than I was at that time, huh? I'll leave you with one more Pete story. How we doing on time, my friend? I still got 10 minutes? I only had 10 minutes when we started. I must be mesmerizing you, girlfriend. I'm done. Okay, I thought that. I'm done. I'll leave you with the Pete story. 2 years later, when he's a senior and I'm a junior, he comes back to Georgia to play in his final collegiate game. And it's a great game, back and forth all the way. And he had this referee by the name of Lou Bello, a little Italian guy. He used to follow him around, do a lot of his games, because Bello was considered a big-time official, and Pete always drew the biggest crowds. And so anyway, it was late in the game, and Maravich drove the basket and charged against me, knocked me right out of the way, and put the ball in. And I knew it was a charge, but the guy called it a block. He called it on me. And so I was really upset, but I didn't say anything. I didn't move my head or make a big sound. But when the referee walked by me, he said, I said to him, "That was an offensive foul." And I didn't think he heard me because he didn't even bat an eye. And then he got 2 steps away from me, and he turned around and he said, "Hey, they ain't here to see you." And you know what? You ain't here to see me either. We're here to see you and to honor what you've done. And what I will do tonight is just leave you with this one final message, just like I tell my team every time we're ready to go play. I know you're ready. I'm rooting like hell for you. Hey, let's go see what they got. Thank you very much for having me. It's been a wonderful audience.
Which one? Okay. You all set? Nothing. All right, we're going to do the presentation of the diplomas, and the first person to come up is Carrie Elizabeth Place. Sherry Ann Franklin. April Jones. Keitha Jade Viola Sears. Gretchen Paul. Hillary Lynn Barrows. Mai Kasahara. Don't let her die. Don't let her die. Mai joined us from Germany for a year this year, and we're gonna miss her. Japan, sorry. Oh my God. We're gonna miss her when she goes back, so we got you a Vermont gift, and we hope you have a good trip home. Barbara Lee Johnson. What? Kirsten Howard. Heather Simpson. And Ashley Ringer. Peter Collette. Christopher White. Sean Michael LaFlamme. Ryan Piper. Justin Taylor. Jacob Planky. Will Webb. Peter Mayu. Brandon Wilbur. Justin Balduke. Gary Koshan II. Robert Thomas Torrey. Davin William Torrey. Joel Isaac Provinger. Sean Morgan Brown. Griffin Reese Condon. George Coleman Grant. Miles L. Miller. James J. Dara IV. Travis Bingham. Nathan Kuchar. And David Bissett. Stephanie Kimball. Katie Sue Hatch. Tanya Albert. Stephanie Lynn Dugan. Shara Culver. Brenna Griswold. Jennifer Tallman. Aaron Paquin. Ashley Elizabeth Gray. Ashley Ada Oosterman. Aaron Cook. Laura Hastings. Catherine Murray Subner. Stephanie Jean Jewell. Amanda Jean Paquin. Nicole Lynn Therian. Ashley Elizabeth O'Brien. Elizabeth Marie Hall. Laura Browning Gilbert Wimette. Erica Lee Miner. Martha Jane Stansbury. Daniel Sweeney. Carly Porter. Mike Sleeper. Anthony Whitney. Jonah Delisle. Parker Frederick Shorey. Jeffrey Freegard. Nathan Redmond. Oh.
Quite all right.
Durain Scribner. Matthew Murphy. Justin Matthew Gordon. Audrey Lee Tucker. Michelle Lynn Jameson. Sarah Murrow Beach Morris. Sarah Ann Holsoff. Eliza Jane Spencer. Jason Elder. Mark Bienvenu. Kevin James Vanderwert. John Myers. Mark Edward Myers. Ian Roger Nimblett. Megan Carmichael. Lindsay Forbes. Stephanie Cogger. Casey Marilyn Clark. Amanda Martell. Jessica Waite. Casey June Spear. Raven Elizabeth Hanlon. Danielle Risley. Ashley Megan Norton. And Pamela Ann Vanderwerk.
And the last diploma to the class president, Katie Recupero.
I decided to put my speech in my hat since there are no pockets in these robes. Welcome, family, friends, classmates, and faculty. My name is Ashley Ringer, and I'm here to give the challenge to the class of 2002. First of all, when I went to write the speech, I wanted to identify what a challenge is. And since I'm the kind of person who likes to make lists, I did just that. I made a list of what comes to mind when I think of a challenge. So, for example, a challenge is meeting your goals, climbing a mountain, saving for that car you've always wanted, getting out of bed every morning, writing that final thesis paper, you know, the one you put off till the night before, keeping in touch with old friends, paying off college loans, giving a speech in front of a large audience, and I would know about that. And in order to get a general definition, I took out my Webster's, and I found one I really liked. Anything as a demanding task that calls for special effort or dedication. So, by that definition, life itself is a challenge. It is made up of love, experience, learning, and emotions. In the future, we will all come upon many challenging situations, and probably have already. The uniqueness of each person is the result of our different experiences. But how we handle them and what we learn from them will determine our future. And I found a quote that really sums that up nicely. For better or worse, our future will be determined in large part by our dreams and by the struggle to make them real. Csikszentmihalyi said this, but for Mr. Paquette's sake, we're going to call him Fred. So it is important to have dreams and work to make them a reality. There's a fine line between realistic and impractical dreams. The critical factor is mostly whether or not you have the motivation and dedication to fulfill that dream. Regardless of how silly those childhood dreams seem now, don't discard them as impossible. They're only impossible if you think they are. Norman Vincent Peale said, "People become really quite remarkable when they start thinking that they can do things. When they believe in themselves, they have the first secret of success." To sum it all up, my challenge to the class of 2002 is this: do not take the path of least resistance just because it is easy. Chances are your dreams will not come true without a struggle. So go after your dreams, and I'm sure the path will lead you in the right direction. Thank you.
Hi. I remember freshman year, the second block in the day. It was the first day of school, and I was incredibly nervous. I sat in my desk and watched the man in front of me introduce himself to the class of about 20 other freshmen. I had heard stories about him, some good, some bad. He handed us a sheet of paper which held our syllabus on it. One of the young women in our graduating class started reading the syllabus aloud. She read and read until there was a word she didn't know. But instead of asking for help, she said, "Whatever," and continued reading. If I had only learned one thing from this man, it is not to say whatever in his presence. He hates it. He took the word that Kate stumbled over and made everyone in the class look it up, and he quizzed us on it the next day. He always saw potential in his students, whether in the classroom or out. There are just not enough words that can describe this man for me. Well-respected, dedicated, and the only person I'll ever know who knows all the world capitals are just a few compliments for him. Mr. John Yarnell, thank you for all you've given VUHS. You are a wonderful man and will surely be missed in this community and by the class of 2002. On behalf of our class, I would like to give you a gift congratulating you on your retirement. Enjoy it and have fun.
It's my pleasure to address the class of 2002. It's a particular pleasure for me because this is the first group that I've had or been their principal for the full 4 years that they've been in high school, and that does make it somewhat special. I need to make a remark to the coach before I go on, though. I've heard you speak, Coach, 6 or 7 times. I've heard the Pete Maravich story and the Butter story 6 or 7 times. But they're always good. It gets better every time, and you always deliver a great message, and we thank you for coming down here for us. As I reminisce over the 4 years that we've had together, I think of a lot of different things and a lot of different things that we've gone through and what we've done together. One of the things we've done together is we've grieved together. We've lost 4 students in the last 4 years, 3 at one time, one of them your classmate Aaron. And we grieved and we came together and we got through that. We grieved with Mrs. Spaulding and Mrs. Weiger as they lost their husbands, and we came together as a school and helped them get through that. We've celebrated. We've celebrated many things. We've celebrated superior ratings for our chorus and our band, state championships in basketball, boys basketball, girls soccer, track relay teams, and an individual golf championship. We have FFA awards both regionally and nationally. And we've just celebrated this building coming together and having a very nice building for you and a nice gymnasium for you to graduate in, even though you may have noticed it's not air conditioned. We've also endured, and you've endured a lot in your 4 years. We've endured the fact that we had an antiquated building when you started. We've endured the construction, the dust, the dirt, the noise. You've endured having to park at the Legion for the first third of the year, having to let the underclassmen take away your senior center, You've endured that, and you've done it with class all the way through, and I appreciate that. And it's been a great 4 years, and I wish you all well. One thing that this class has requested for you and would like you to know is that there will be a receiving line. They want to have a receiving line. They're going to do it around the circle out here, out of the main entrance of the gymnasium. I noticed many of you, when you came in through the auditorium and down the ramp in that way. It must be old habit instead of just coming in the main entrance of this new area. But they do want to do that and meet all of you out there. And I think it should be nice and cool out there. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the class of 2002. Graduates, flip your tassels.